Is this moment as significant as when we first saw it?
You should have gone for the head.
Well, not so fast, champ. Because WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow have already changed the MCU forever. They're living proof of why something that happened 4 or 5 films ago could no longer be relevant anymore. And you know why that is? Because after all the hints and teases of a wider universe, the Loki variant Sylvie officially broke the timeline in the Loki season finale, and it's a free-for-all right now.
You had one job.
There are infinite possibilities now that the multiverse has been unlocked. Everything is flexible. Combine this with Wanda's scary ability to distort and create alternate realities at the drop of a hat, and you never know what's real and what isn't around here nowadays. For example, the X-Men. There's a genuine chance that familiar faces, like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, could also return.
Because I'm the best there is at what I do. What I do best isn't very nice.
There's been a few teases on social media, and Marvel Studios will be well aware of what worked and what didn't in the X-Men universe, so it won't reinvent the wheel if it doesn't need to. And the good news is that they can now bring back some of the popular actors who played the mutants and explain it away by using the multiverse as the answer. Though Marvel will want to do something different with the Fantastic Four because, yeah, the last time we saw the first family, it wasn't something to write home about.
Can you turn it off?
Maybe clobbering time should be used to remove the very existence of that movie. What is abundantly clear is that there will be new faces leading the MCU in the years to come. From Sam as the new Captain America, to Yelena as a different version of the Black Widow, and Monica as the next logical Captain Marvel, it's exciting to see how the evolution of the Avengers will shape up for the next big team-up event. Also, everyone knows that the upcoming Hawkeye TV show will introduce Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, who will eventually take up the Hawkeye mantle after Clint Barton. So there's yet another name to throw into the mix there. Honestly speaking, it's a decision that makes a lot of sense in the grand scheme of things, especially since producer Kevin Feige told Entertainment Tonight that Marvel is always about new beginnings. Yep, new blood is sorely needed. But seriously, can anyone actually replace the originals? You know, Iron Man or Captain America? Well, they may not need to. If you paid close attention to Loki, you would have noticed how there's something called variants running around the multiverse. Basically, different versions of yourself, including alligators. Yeah, that was wild. And you know what that means, right? If there are more Lokis, that means there are certainly more Steve Rogers and Tony Starks in other timelines.
I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
While it's unlikely that Marvel would want to pull the trigger and bring these iconic heroes back so quickly, it does leave the door firmly wide open for future returns down the road. Multiverse aside, Wanda reviving Vision also showed that she has the power to bring back other characters and control them in distorted, warped realities. Imagine if she pulled the same kind of stunt with zombie Iron Man and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The fans would totally lose their minds at the sight of this. One thing's for sure though, Marvel is in the business of fan service, and if it feels like there's room for Cap and Iron Man to return in a way that makes sense and add something to the story, you know the studio won't hesitate to do it. With all the new heroes and potential returns, it's also important to consider something else: the villains. Yes, Thanos is down for the count, but both Black Widow and Loki have unleashed the next wave of baddies who might be bigger threats than the Mad Titan. Fans met Valentina Allegra de Fontaine in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we saw her show up again in the post-credits scene in Black Widow. Her history in the comics is quite sketchy, as she's played on both sides of good and bad. However, judging by her comments to Yelena that she wants to recruit her to kill Hawkeye, there's a hint that she could be on her way to becoming Madame Hydra. Then, there's He Who Remains, also known as Kang the Conqueror. Considering that he's well aware of all the timelines and recognizes variants of himself running around the multiverse, this might be the most dangerous villain that the Avengers have ever encountered.
This is wild.
He knows everyone's next step before they even consider it, and that's a scary prospect for anyone facing off against him. Kang is set to appear in Ant-Man 3, so we should find out even more about this rogue. The Avengers might have thought they defeated their greatest adversary, but Kang and Val look like they might be creating all sorts of new chaos for this next phase of the MCU. And that's the thing. No one knows what to expect anymore, as Marvel has blown everything out of the water once again. Even when comic book fans claim to know what's happening next, there's always a twist to subvert expectations. Look at Taskmaster and Black Widow as an example. Everyone thought they knew the character's real identity, and then the bombshell arrived when she, yes she, not he, was unmasked. Didn't see that one coming. Also, the MCU loves nothing more than to toy with the fans and let the theories run wild online. For the longest time, the audience believed Mephisto was behind the events of WandaVision, and then, boom! Kevin Feige admitted to Entertainment Tonight that the MCU loves to see the theories and speculation, but it won't always do the obvious. He said, "Everything we make is hopefully with the intention of exceeding expectations and fulfilling surprises. Not every rumor you read about online is true, not by a long shot, but not everyone is false either. So that's the fun. This means whatever comes next is truly unexpected. We might think we have it all mapped out, but we actually don't. Who knows, maybe Mephisto is still the big villain of Phase 4. But ultimately, the one thing that Loki, Black Widow, Falcon, and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision did incredibly well was to set the grand stage for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Previously, no one expected this to be the big movie of the MCU. It just seemed like another sequel in a long line of them. But after everything we've seen so far, it looks as if this might be Marvel's most important film in a long time. It'll be the undeniable blueprint for the rest of the franchise. No one knows what to expect, because we've had our minds blown for the past few months with all the surprises and revelations. It goes to show that you should never write something off. Many fans predicted that the MCU would die with Endgame, no longer being relevant. But they must be eating their words right now, because the franchise hasn't looked this exciting in a long time.
Oh, don't forget your umbrella. Oh, yes.
Feeling all heroic and inspired right now? Then check out our video about the history of superhero cinema and how it conquered the world. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome!